How did you do this slow?
Nice, yeah. Acrobatics.
Hey practitioners, welcome back. Let's start into this special video because I filmed a session together with Nil Teisner and Nil is showing me how to start an acrobatics practice. I have a tiny bit of experience with various acrobatics, but I never spent so much time with it. So for me, it was really nice to see how he builds it up from the ground. Nil's approach is very friendly, very step by step. And that's often a thing that is hard to find in acrobatics where it's like and you have the feeling things are just a little bit too fast. So Nil showed me very basic drills that I think most people can do and can start with. The cool thing is we actually made two videos. One video where Nil is teaching me, this is this video, and another video where I'm leading a session, and this other video you can find on Nil's channel. So I put the link in the description, and once you finish this video, feel very invited to click on the link and hop to the other video where we reverse roles. All right, let's go.
So my idea is, in biology there is stem cells. Right? In acrobatics, there's also stem cells. It's movements that can transform into so many other things later on. And in acrobatics, I have a couple of things that I call the stem cells of acrobatics. And I want to work on them with you because then we can use them in many cool things. For example, in forwards arching and all arching, which I know that for you is not too easy sometimes. So this is what I want to do with you. But before, let's simply go into the floor and do a very simple warm-up. Simply in a cat position, taking a little bit of care of the wrists. And already here what I like to do is this idea of, instead of just taking care of the wrists, let the force travel upwards into your shoulder blade and already finding this nice massage there. What I'm already doing from the start, every time I'm switching towards a different limb, I really take care of how I switch to this other limb. So there is this smooth weight shift happening now, very cat-like. This is at least the analogy that I like to work on. And then maybe already because you were at the workshop, there was this idea of really sinking deeply into this shoulder blade, right? Remember? So already we can do this here to find this very deep sinking action. And then a cool thing for acrobatics in general is to let go of the eyes a little bit of the movement so they can just wander around so the body is doing the thing. And the eyes don't need to predict where we want to go. Yeah. And already while sitting here, finding these moments of leaning back a little bit. And while doing so, I try to keep my spine from opening, but simply sinking back down. Yeah. Boom, nice. Now from here, let's go into the full cycle, which is basically into squat. I then extend my tailbone upwards and try to find complete relaxation in my skull so it drops forwards. If your legs cannot be fully straight from the beginning, easy peasy, we simply keep them bent. Then I squat back down again, and while doing so there is already this notion of opening up. Chuk, 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 chuk. As soon as my knees touch the floor, I now want to open up my hips as well. And now we can find this global extension of the body. Chest arching backwards a little bit, knees go forwards, and we simply repeat this for about 5, 6, 7 times. And every repetition I try to find more depth in my arching, but then also in my folding. So what I like to do is use these warm-ups as a check-in, especially in arching. How's my spine feeling?
Stiff.
Stiff.
I think for me, it's okay for me to push it, you know. I'm just like my arch is progressing super slow, and in the last 2 years I didn't do it, but I used to practice every day bridging, and I got to a point where I felt like, okay, now I'm where other people start.
Got it.
But I was every day, the first start of the session was 1 hour of bridging stuff and so on. But now in the last years I didn't do much, so at the moment it's like not really good, but my spine is like, it can take things like that's okay.
Cool. Nice.
Yeah.
So my legs are relatively wide.
Yeah.
I try to bring this leg also inwards a little bit so I have a support here, that it's not too far out.
Okay, and you go until there?
I go exactly, for now just until here. Already this leg I would bring in a little bit more, exactly, so you have a better support here.
Yeah.
The basic idea is just push away, open, but then we can refine in a way that I like to bend this arm slightly, rotate it inwards, and therefore find more activation here. Honestly, practicing my bridge like this, the basic bridge, I have not been spending time there like the last years, like at all. My bridge is not that good anymore, but this bridge, this one-arm bridge is good. And this is what matters to me in my acrobatics. So I rarely do acrobatics where I fully bridge, right? But I almost always use this one-arm variation. So it's much more also of rotation in the spine, shoulder mobility, hip mobility here. So it's a little bit different than going here.
Okay.
So this could be also maybe interesting for you to know.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Nice. Exactly. Good breather. And then continuing back and forth a couple times. This exercise takes care of many things, and especially it takes care of that our shoulder is capable of being in this position, which if we look at a lot of arching acrobatics, this is the key position. Now I'm shifting my weight on top of the balls of my feet. I don't need a full sissy squat in this one because I have my arms to support myself. From the beginning there is a notion of I want to go into the spiral right here. Boom. I arch backwards, I try to shift the weight forwards, and I try to keep my hips extended. If it's not possible yet, I can also bend them a little bit, but it should be ideally an extended hip. I then arch backwards and try to receive the floor as softly as possible, directly going into this position. I then open up and try to use my arm like a paintbrush to pull upwards while the other one is pushing and receive back the standing
And trying
position.
to keep the hip open while I go up.
As much as I can, exactly. Yeah. I'll show it once more so you can catch the details. Rotating, catching, opening. Now arm, arm, arm.
Yeah, you have a lot of these small details. It's nice, like you have this intelligence. Also in the workshop, you had these things where I felt like, wow, now you say this, but there was so much to see, and there's so much little things that take this time to develop, no?
Yeah.
It's good.
Nice. Okay, that's all right. I'd say do exactly the same side 3 times so you don't lose the feeling of the side.
Yeah.
Go, go, go. Nice. Okay, how's that feeling?
Yeah. It feels not too foreign because I know the sissy squat, and also I did this touches a little bit, like never practiced it much, but sissy squat I practiced quite a bit. But also not easy at the moment for me. Like for the sissy squat, I feel like my knees have a good tension from some other training that I do at the moment, so I feel like I can go there, but it's not super like soft, like
Takes a little while. Huh?
Yeah.
I start with the second detail, which is really leading with this opening right here. Instead of going, I go. If you can't catch it or can't do it from the start, easy, we can let go of this one, but I try to go. Boom.
Nice.
Yeah. And then the first detail, which is much more important to me, is when I go upwards, there is this arm that is pulling, right?
Yeah.
And there is this arm that is pushing.
Yeah.
As soon as it's done pushing, I also pull. And it gives an extra lift, and this is something I use always in all of these arching things, and I rarely see people do this, especially beginners, but it gives so much more lift, and you get up so much more easy. So let's try to find it. I will do a couple side to side, you can see, and then we switch.
Okay, nice. Oh, so your reps were getting smoother and smoother. I saw.
Yeah. It takes a little time to dial it in.
Yeah. Okay. So, here. That was that stiff version of it. they feel better on the arm now, a bit less stiff.
Yeah.
Are you doing this or are you
I'm doing more upwards. Yeah, something like this.
Very different, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like this one, the second arm pulling, transformed this somehow and made it more easygoing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like it.
Yeah. Cool. Once again, noticing it's a basic move still, down going, but there is a lot of details, right? So it's very interesting. It's very rich somehow, this movement.
Yeah, it feels like something that I could train for longer time, like many reps, you know, like,
Yeah. The pattern that we have now, into the floor using a spiral, out of the floor using a spiral, there is 10, 15 different movements that directly rely on this, so we can directly use it, right? So this is why I call it like a stem cell. It's like the squat for so many movements and patterns and human function. This one in acrobatics is really elevates the practice.
It's a very beautiful picture.
Yeah.
Analogy.
Yeah. We have the spiral. We want to take it up, but just a little bit until we get, or before we get into a standing position. Starting, opening, like before, but deciding to take it into the other side. You can do it slower at first, and then with repetitions you want to be very spiraled inwards.
How did you do the slow? You did it so nicely.
The slow motion is only possible. Imagine, once again, think about weight shifts. If you let go of this arm, you will fall. So first shift your weight forwards. So you can, nice.
Yeah, okay.
There we go.
Boom.
Yeah.
So opening.
Yes, nice. Okay.
Getting a bit stuck with my toes here.
Yeah, that's the real danger.
That's like one of the most
honestly, yeah.
dangerous things, the toes,
Yeah.
What can I do better?
A lot of things.
Yeah.
But before we do that, let's do a second round just to get more this intuitive motion, and then we talk about details. Yeah. Once again, I like to call it arm swipe. I guess different people have different names for it.
Okay. So the arms, how they go like.
Paintbrushes.
Yeah.
Paint the sky.
And also the pushing, like there's a bit of a
What is unclear? What feels unclear?
It feels clear. This is what feels dangerous about it. Like it feels, you know, like I struggle to know what's the mistakes in a sense.
Yeah.
But what I very clearly feel is the moment I push myself higher and so on, I become very like, you know, like, and I can go a bit lower and then it's a bit softer.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you here, like I'm breathing, you know, for me it's not very relaxed. For you it seems like, I can see that it also takes energy how you do it, but at least from the visual at the same time it's like this relaxed and like the breath stays like almost the same.
So like you were saying, if you learn it like this and never go further into refinement, you will get stuck with this pattern. It's a nice pattern, you can practice, it's super cool. But if we want to go even further, we need to focus on certain small things. So this is what we can try to do now. My movements tend to be never straight, but tend to curve always, in order to contain energy a little bit better. If I go into a curve, I can use this curve-like momentum to keep going and going. The spiraling notion. So in this one, instead of me thinking, I want to travel in a straight line, I already open up to go into like a little circle. So, starting, we can maybe use this cross here perfectly. I like to be in a wider stance, closer arm positions. Now, my leg wants to travel quite far. My arm wants to travel only a little bit, and this is how I can make a circle. So, leg goes far. Arm tries to replace more or less the other arm.
You went even further.
So I'm using very much this notion here to travel more. Exactly. So what we can actually do for the next round, instead of going back and forth, we have this as the center point and we move around in a circle, a circular arm swipe. Let go. So this could be the second detail to focus on. How can you be more paintbrushy here?
I'm a bit quick. It's because I like to trying to go around.
Yeah.
I accelerate. Huh? Missing a bit the height.
Yes, right now you're sacrificing hip height for circularity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. So focusing maybe on bringing more weight onto the legs could be useful again.
Yeah. Good point. I didn't do that at all. I didn't focus on that at all.
You know, so that it's more something like.
All right.
Something like this to really get this idea of how can I use my legs. And this exact motion right here is what I'm looking for. I'm spiraling and now, right, like a wave.
It's a bit like I'm going up, no, I'm falling down again.
Nice. Yeah, a lot of things happening, therefore it's very rich but also complex, so it takes practice definitely.
Yeah, and I feel like, I mean, obviously I can only focus on one thing at a time.
Yeah.
And now it was this going up.
Yeah.
And probably 3 other things I didn't do anymore because of that.
Yes, exactly, like it goes. So, quick recap, we had this idea of lateral push, opening up our rib cage like this, then using this from standing down, and then using it with the arm swipe either side to side or circular. So already like it's a workout basically.
Yeah.
A lot of different things. Micro cartwheel. Landing. Open.
Okay, nice.
Using this one to get up. Micro cartwheel. Landing. Hold for a second just to secure this position. Going up. If you feel super comfortable, of course, you can go in one motion, but only do it if you know that you can hold this position.
Okay, you start like this, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quite wide base.
And then
Turn.
push.
Yes.
Like this?
Yes, like this. Focus directly on this detail when coming up. Arm, push, pull.
Okay.
Yeah.
The swipe or the brush.
Exactly.
All right.
Nice.
Do you have a side difference, Nil?
Definitely.
Yeah?
Yeah, definitely. Usually going over my left arm, I can arch better. I'm stronger on my right, but I can arch better and more precise on
the
left.
Same.
Yeah.
Same for me, just vice versa because I'm left-handed.
Cool. I, in your case, would now focus on only the landing and make it so that I don't walk around after it. I land, come up, and I try to catch myself again. This is something that I focus on because I think A, it feels good. It feels very good to catch something and still be in control. Then number two, it gives me control, so I can use it in sequencing and improv.
Yeah.
When landing, allow your body to wave it out. You don't need to tense, no, you can really do. And this is also why we want to be wider. Wider base gives us more opportunities.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Makes sense. Yeah, but it was a bit slow there, like this.
Yeah. Next up, it's basically the same idea, but instead of going cartwheel, I take a step and I go heel kick, which then is a different entry to the same thing, but it works just the same. Step, hop, land. Up. Circular stepping, hopping.
Okay, landing on the same leg. Like you're jumping from this leg and you land on this leg.
Exactly. Two. Shall we do it together?
How did you start?
Okay.
I focus on the end so much that I forgot the...
Maybe you stand here, simply like doing a cartwheel. But now it's not cartwheel, it's more stepping. And then we have kind of like this, in capoeira it's meia lua kick.
Yeah. Okay.
This thing. Hands just like a cartwheel. Yes. There we go.
Like this?
There we go.
Yeah. Okay. And then...
Exactly.
Landing.
Wonderful.
Ha. Ha. Yeah, this helped that you said, okay, it's like meia lua that you... That I can connect it to something that I know.
Exactly.
Or know a little bit. Like.
Yeah.
Wait.
Stepping first.
Yeah.
Maybe what you can even do just to get better this idea of going for this one, just focusing on kick. How can you make this super smooth? Yeah, nice. Yeah. Yeah. Tum. Yeah. Now we do the following. I do one side cartwheel, other side cartwheel. You do one side cartwheel, other side cartwheel. I do one side step, other side step, then you do step, other side step.
Yeah.
So we do both patterns back and forth, jamming a little bit.
Okay.
So it's less time doing it, more rest and observation also. Make sense?
Yeah. Jamming sounds like something relaxed. It's...
Yeah. Let's try to
But
keep
what
it easy.
happens in my mind is more something like, you know, a bit like, okay, we're doing this.
Performance?
All right, yeah.
Let's go.
Not performance, but like, all right, we're going to battle now here with this pattern, but I try to stay very jammy.
Nice. Let's not go to war with it. Super jammy, yeah? And maybe even the intention, now we worked a lot on technique. Let's now try to work more on sensation of flow through it. If it's not completely technical, it's okay. Let's now go more with sensation.
Yeah.
Yeah? Nicey. So first one. Nice.
Yeah, it was a bit different. Okay, and mehr Lua thing.
Yes.
It's nice because it's a bit confusing, like to do this and then do this hop on one foot. All right. Let me do it on the other side because I think
Nice, there you go. Nice, yeah. Cool, that's nice. Yes.
Oh,
cool.
Felt this a little bit.
Okay. But generally, how do you like this one compared to the arching?
For me, this feels so much softer and easy. Like there's not, with the arch, every time it's like,
yeah.
And this is like,
nice.
Okay, yeah, I'm a little rabbit.
Yes, nice, cool. And I think that's nice to have because acrobatics can be scary, can be hard, can be complex. So why not also find easier versions of them so we can just enjoy them? And this is usually how I like to end a session. I tried something, I went for it, and now just like get rid of it again, do something easier, ease up the body, ease up the mind, and just enjoy it.
I feel also that I can do my reps, like I don't have to think. Like, it's still nice to think before for a moment and what am I aiming for.
Yeah.
But this I can like can get into a rhythm.
Yeah, you can just go.
Of doing. No. Because I noticed with one before it started like when I start to become a bit unclear and I from the parkour I also noticed like I start a bit like this,
Yeah.
Like this is my ritual, but it's not a helping ritual, but this is, if my body starts to do it, I notice, okay, now things are starting to either become scary for me or I lose a bit, not concentration, but the clarity about what am I doing now. And then my body is like, okay, what's happening?
Yeah, no, I totally get that. Yeah, and again, I think then it's nice to have something to continue to practice in a very easy way.
Yeah. How do you work with fear? Like, do you often encounter it, or are you, with your exercise, with how you working in a way that is not, you don't have to break so often through barriers or something like this? Like from the parkour, I know that very clearly, this feeling of, okay, let's see, like how can I work towards that? But often there is then a gap, like there's no pre-exercise anymore. Now there's 3 steps missing and you just have to do it or not do it. Which can be like very taxing on the mind, and you go home and you feel very tired from these feelings of these emotions that you had.
Definitely. I totally get it, but in this case, when I practice my floor acrobatics, just like this more or less, there is rarely these barriers because most of the moves, patterns, concepts I'm used to. Of course, there is more things, for example, going on one arm and spinning and falling backwards. There might be a moment of, I'm afraid, but in this type of movements, this class of movements, it's rarely. But then, of course, if I go airborne and if I jump and twist, I'm not familiar with that, I do have it. Me as a person, I don't like to be there too much. It is very taxing for me. I do like to approach it, and I think it's for me also necessary sometimes to push myself and be like, okay, this is actually scary now.
Taxing on the mind or on the body or both?
Both, but especially mind.
Okay.
Especially the mind. And so for this floor acrobatic type work, usually this is not scary. Maybe the scary things are more like, okay, I don't know, will my body handle this right now? In terms of, is it in this position strong enough? So this might be a fear, but it's not this fear that maybe in skateboarding or in jumping acrobatics or in parkour of like literally you have a complete blockhead and it's like, nice. So we had a lot of arching, a lot of spine, Let's do something super easy that I like to do in the ending. I call it the tower. In yoga you would maybe call it a plow. And I like it so much because I can find very weird positions in my spine with a lot of length, a lot of relaxation, maybe even fully sinking into a plow, so the feet all the way back to the floor.
Definitely feel my legs a little bit shakiness there.
Yeah, I can imagine. And end the whole thing just like in a cross-leg position, folding forwards. I tend somehow to get a lot of tension in my glutes, so especially after a lot of arching where there's so much activation, and then simply being here and opening up just feels nice, so I like to do that. Nicey.
Cool. Thank you very much, Neil.
Yeah, for sure.
That was like really showing, like the workshop that you taught on the weekend, that this is possible to go into this practice in a very soft way, in a non-scary way, in an open way, where you don't need to have certain traits, you don't need to be super mobile or have lots of strength and so on. Like, you can do something, like if it's broken down in this intelligent way. Yeah, that's very beautiful.
Nice. Danke dir.
Danke dir.
Ja, klar.
Hey practitioners, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think. Hit the like button and go over to Nil's channel. Check the link in the description to look at the video where we reverse roles and I'm leading a session. All right, have a good day.